But last night, a handful of our members announced that they would not support the compromise bill, even though it would have repealed Obamacare's taxes, reformed Medicaid by putting it on a sustainable path for future generations, and guided the largest pro-life protections and included the largest pro-life protections on federal spending that I've ever seen. This, Mr. President, was the opportunity we had been working toward. All we had to do was come together and compromise, and 7.5 years of promises would have been much, much closer to being fulfilled. But last night we blinked, and frankly, I think the members who opted to scuttle the compromise bill will eventually have to explain to their constituents why they left so many Obamacare fixes on the table and walked away from this historic opportunity. Do we want to repeal Obamacare, or are we fine with leaving it in place? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Keep in mind, Mr. President, the vast majority of Republican senators are already on record having voted 2 years ago in favor of a full Obamacare repeal with a 2-year delay. Of course, in 2015, we knew that the president would veto that legislation. We now know that the current occupant of the White House would surely sign it. That's really the only difference between then and now. Was the vote in 2015 just a political stunt? Was it just pure partisanship? I know some of our Democratic colleagues claimed that that was the case. Were they right? I sure hope not. On the contrary, I sincerely hope that any member of the Senate who voted for the 2015 bill and who has spent the last 7.5 years pledging to repeal Obamacare hasn't suddenly decided to change his or her position now that the vote has a chance to actually matter. Process. Right now, we have essentially two choices. We can keep talking about repealing Obamacare and wishing for a better future, one with more Republican votes or more Democrats willing to acknowledge reality, or we can press forward with the numbers we have and make good on the commitments that we made to the American people. To quote the old Scottish nursery rhyme, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. Translation, more talking and more wishing won't get us anywhere. We can either take a significant step forward to undo Obamacare's mandates and taxes that have collectively weakened or wreaked havoc on our healthcare system, or we can dither about some more and leave them in place for the foreseeable future. In my view, Mr. President, the choice is an easy one. I urge all of my colleagues to once again vote with me to repeal Obamacare.